My name is Geneviève Sabourin. I am wrongfully convicted as Alec Baldwin stalker since 2012 due to the lies of a notorious liar, Hilaria, it's not a real name, Hilary Hayward Thomas, that we call Hilaria Baldwin. I am profoundly shocked, and I think I can't find a word to see this liar, notorious liar, attention-seeking, after 10 years and more of Spanish grift, lying about her name, pretending to come from Spain, using a fake accent. And that's what she did to accuse me wrongfully as Alec Baldwin stalker. She used a non-legal name, not only to get me arrested, wrongfully arrested, as she pretended I was Alec Baldwin stalker, but she came 2.5 years after my wrongfully arrestation that she caused with lies. She came to the trial and testified on oath with this same fake Spanish accent, pretending to come from Spain, pretending to be Hilaria Baldwin, and lying about everything that destroyed and killed the woman that I was. The woman that I was will never exist again. The way I see life now has got nothing to do with the way I saw life prior. And the way I experience life now, I have to tell you, it's walking on a social death row every day since 10.5 years. After 6 months of jail, that was my sentencing for something I did not do. Hilaria never sought an out-of-court resolution, not one day. Hilary Hayward Thomas, never tried to mediate and answer negatively to all my requests to resolve this very little matters full of consequences for me. She never agreed to resolve it in a private matter, in an out-of-court resolution. She enforced accusation not once, not twice, but 3 times. After I got wrongfully arrested, and you can see it on internet, she went back to pretend I sent her emails, which was never, after verification by the court, was never for me, but I got arrested again from court and spent like a day, 2 days in jail on the floor, and the humiliation and destroying my name and making sure I can never go back to my life, making sure the stigma and vilification on me would be so big that it would be impossible to find work, a safe housing, a safe rental place to live in peace, without discrimination, without abuse. I lost all my family, my friends. So that is a death in society. When you can't work, when you cannot function, when you cannot no longer rely and be part of a group called your family, your friend, when you can no longer do the work you've done before or be the person you were before. I got killed by Hilaria's lie. And you know what? I am shocked to the core that after doing 10 years of Spanish grift, after using newborn baby or very small child to display nudity as much as she could on social media so she could have attention and not be seen as a porn star, but being seen as a mother breastfeeding. And the line is thin, and she was always walking on it, not for the well-being of those children, but for her own media attention, for her own income, because she got so much contract by being known as Alec Baldwin wife, and crossing that line of nudity and crossing that line of lies and Spanish grift. And now that nobody wants to work with her anymore, that nobody wants to pay attention to what she does and how she used those kids and all those pregnancy, and I will say pregnancy, that she use to promote herself. Because you could be pregnant and you can do it with decency at home and privacy. But when it's overly exposed, to expose your nudity, to get attention from the media, and obviously to get sponsoring, contracted, and money and fame, it's because something's wrong somewhere, right? I am shocked to the core. I am insulted to the core, but I am shocked for that poor man and his family. His name is Kosoul, Chanthakoumanne, and he's going to be executed tomorrow in Texas in a few hours from now. And you have this grifter, this liar, and this woman that is ready to use anything, including the death of someone walking on death row. And she says she wants to help. Well, if you really want to help somebody on death row and help making sure the legal system and the many flaws of the legal system is better, she would have done 1 hour of court day during the 2 years I was forced to travel from Canada all the way to United States and pay like all the fees for that with my house equity, with my retirement plan. She's forced me now to live in poverty, below welfare, with a total 10 years of exclusion. And she's got the nerve to use the pain and suffering of a family of a man walking in death row, pretending she wants to help. And she really believes her lies and fake reputation and bad reputation coming from the grift, it can help this guy. She is not trying to help. She's trying to get something scandalous, something shocking, so the media will talk about her again. She wants to be seen as a benefactor, and it's called, if you're a narcissistic and you do that, it's called communal narcissistic. And she just wants attention. She's not there to help that poor man. For myself, I have to disclose that I've been working for 3 years on a production project prior to what happened to me in New York. It was the biggest French and English documentary that was done on wrongfully conviction, and it's called Struggle for Justice. And I was doing the research and the content, and I was speaking with those people, like very famous people, like, for example, John Marshall, that is the first exonerated person from Canada. And we did a magnificent interview with Donald Marshall about his misery and his long struggle to reach justice, because he was also, Donald Marshall, the victim of a liar. And the court, and the main flaws of the court and the court system is that they believe the person that accused. And they don't investigate who's accusing and why. Is there an ulterior motive like Hilaria? Is there another ulterior motive to accuse somebody? Yes, there is. You know, she considered Alec to be like the geese of golden eggs, and maybe I was a threat for her. Maybe because Alec continued to speak with me, spoke with me on the phone, text me, email me. We had an agreement. I was going to take a coffee with him at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and she just called the police on me. That's the story. But she lied. And now we know she's a liar. And she's got the nerve. She's got the nerve to pretend she wants to help that poor man and the family. And she asks you to call Texas governor to make sure he's not executed tomorrow. I think it's awful. This man, this poor man, I'm shocked to the core, because I try to help them, and I didn't do it 24 hours on a sprint to get any attention. I worked 3 years on a production TV show, speaking with family of David Milgaard, speaking of people like so many, like Régence in Quebec, which is $11.5 million exoneration, the biggest exoneration in my state in Quebec. I spent weeks and weeks with Régence to do his interview. I spoke with his lawyer. I mean, that's how I can humbly say I helped a little. And Hilaria wants to come with all her bad reputation and lies, 24-hour a death row in Texas, which Texas is one of United States state where there's the most execution. And she wants to pretend she's helping? Of course not. Her father is a lawyer. She knows she is not helping. She is taking attention, media attention, and trying to reestablish her image on the death and the torture and the pain of that man and that man's family and maybe the other family. Because, you know, when there's a situation of a crime or when there's a situation of a wrongfully conviction, there's always more than one family involved and everybody's suffering unless you're a stupid liar like Hilaria. And you can tell, like, I've never been that angry. I am telling Kosoul, Chanthakoumanne in Texas that's going to be executed, and I hope not, and I will pray for him. Maybe you're saving one life. Maybe you're saving one life before this horrible thing happened to you. I do not believe in death row. I do not believe in death row, and I will repeat, I do not believe in death row, even if anyone would be obviously, without any doubt, with DNA and camera and testimony, guilty. The system is so flawed in United States as well as in Canada. The system is so flawed that we cannot put anybody on death row, even with their own testimony that they committed the crime. I studied in psychology at University of Montreal and University of Ottawa. I believe that there is some type of people there's no way we can cure. Like Hilaria, because when you're a narcissistic or pathological liar, to the point you're using kids to show your nudity, to the point you send an innocent into a social death row for life. Because I will never be the woman I am. The woman I am is dead. To the point she's got the nerve to use this poor man in Texas death row so she can get media attention and restore her image. As like there's no way you can help certain type of people. But it doesn't mean you send them to death row. It just means that they need to have detention for life and surveillance for life, treatments for life. I believe in that. I really believe in that. Maybe that's where the change needs to be. Because I could have been killed while being arrested based on the lies of Hilaria. I could have been killed more than once in a detention, in a jail cell, or at Rikers Island for the 6 months I was serving while I was not rich enough to have decent lawyer to provide me a defense. Because that's what it is. Any decent lawyer, and you talk decent lawyer, I'm saying like Harvey Weinstein lawyer, like Ghislaine Maxwell lawyer, because that's what the level of my case was about. Yesterday, Alec Baldwin gave an interview to Andrew Cuomo, ex-governor of New York, brother Chris Cuomo, who was, at the time of my injustice, the anchor at CNN. So those guys, I mean, even if he shot and killed somebody, you can fan as much as you want and pull the trigger as much as you want or not. If you're holding the gun, the real question is not who did put the bullet in the gun, but why the hell were you pointing that gun into somebody? Well, for example, the son of Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee, you know, we all know in the movie, this is the worst thing that could have happened when you handle a gun. I myself did my class, and the first thing about safety is to never point a gun at no one, even if it's a cold gun. So don't go think, because anything can happen. Who would put a real bullet in it? It could be from the manufacturer all the way to the chain, all the way to the store where you buy it. Anything can happen. Your responsibility when you have a gun is to not point a gun at no one. That's your job. That's your safety. I'm certified cold blue. I did my class, and I'm sure Alec Baldwin did his class as well. And I will do another video to explain to you why I do think he's fully responsible. So what I'm saying is that there's no way those people can get away with all those lies and abuse, and then we, the people, will let that happen. Hilaria lied on myself and I put it on my Instagram, and you see the court paper and the judgment, but not only this, but also the protection order I was served back then that is no longer effective. It's on Alexander Ray Baldwin, because that's his name. That's his legal name. Even though if we all know him socially by Alec Baldwin, he used his legal name, and she used a non-legal name that we checked, and my investigator said she never legally changed Hilary Hayward Thomas for Hilaria Baldwin. So, you know what? I called the district attorney. They told me they know. The district attorney in New York, they told me they know she lied and perjury herself. And they said to me, well, you're going to have to take lawyers and have them come to the attorney's office and tell us what you're telling us, Geneviève. I said, I cannot afford Harvey Weinstein, Ghislaine Maxwell type of lawyer. It's like $500,000 US to tell you what we're discussing now. And they said, well, that's how it works, because they don't want to be held responsible for never duly verifying her name, her address, legal name, legal address, the Spanish grift. And she was testifying with a Spanish accent and everything. That's criminal concealment. That's a perjury. And she's got the nerve to come here and use the death row walk of this poor man, guilty or not. It's horrible on a human level. And she's got the nerve to use that pain so she can reestablish her public image as a benefactor. It's communal narcissism to the worst I ever heard of it. It makes me want to throw up. It disgusted me to the core. She's not there to help. Helping a situation like that takes enormous amount of work. Not 24 hours before. Her father's a lawyer. I'm saying it again. She knows all that. She knew what to say to get me wrongfully arrested, because she was afraid that Alec would take me instead of take her. He was obviously still interested, still calling, still texting, still emailing, obviously. And she said it. She said, oh, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And when we think the mirror doesn't say us, we want to destroy the other. She was talking about me, because that's what she did, because that's how she perceived life. That's why she caused my injustice based on lies. And now she's got the nerve to use the death walk of a man. If she wants to help fix the flaws in the justice system, she can tell the truth, reestablish my name, my reputation, and find together an out of court or a public settlement for all the torture, the pain. I lost everything. I lost my family. I lost my mother. I lost my retirement plan. I lost my entire career. I lost chance to become a mother and feel what it is to be pregnant. Because I was 37 years old and now I'm 50. And that story made sure I could never find a husband or a boyfriend. I went to sperm donor clinic. They refused to work with somebody with such a criminal background known around the world. I also tried to adopt kids with disability, all the way to adopting kids with HIV. They refused because I'm Alec Baldwin's stalker. Not only that I'll never be pregnant and know what it feels like, but I'll never be able to have any kids. She wants to reestablish the legal system. She should look in her own backyard. She should look in her own backyard and look at herself in the mirror and look at herself in the mirror, and she called, and the 911 call is on my YouTube channel. And you can hear, she's not saying, I'm Hilary Hayward Thomas from Boston. You can hear her, I'm Hilaria, and she doesn't know the address because she doesn't live there at that time. And we had the investigator verifying her taxes and a driving license, and everything was not at that address. That just means that she filed an accusation with the wrong name and a wrong address. Perjury, criminal concealment, on and on and on. She's the criminal. And now she's got the nerve to use the death of somebody, because using kids and overly sexualize herself and themselves to become rich and famous and have all kinds of toys company and baby company and cream company endorsing her. So she used that, and now what? She wants to be endorsed by who? But she is not helping. I'm telling you, she should look in her own backyard. There is a massive injustice. That's me. The district attorney does not want to void the case because they will be held financially responsible, as well as NYPD. They said to me, as long as you don't have a lawyer, we're not going to proceed voiding your guilty verdict. And I said, it's obvious, you know, because you're New York State. You have in the same computer you work in every day, you have the access to our